here we're looking at website pages that are text heavy and finding a way to make them more attractive. So as people are going through them, the information might be useful to them, as is the case with this particular page. There's a lot that people can benefit from, but sometimes people need to see some sort of graphics that are going to break it all up. And I'm going to take you through a process of using your existing content and create graphics from part of that to break up a page just like this. And I'm going to take you through a thing called Napkin, and this is completely free. This is it, napkin.ai. It's in beta, and it's been in beta for a while, and it seems to have been free for quite a while. You can't actually pay for it. So you just sign up for it, and this page gives you a little bit of information about what you can do. But to summarize that, it actually tells you here. You paste in text from your website or from somewhere else. It will generate visuals based on that text. You can then amend those visuals in various ways, including fonts and the way things connect together. And then you basically export it as an image. And in this case, you can put that image into your website, but it can be used for lots of different things as well. So this explains how it all works. Well worth signing up. Now, once you get into Napkin, I'm going to show you an example of that on the page that we're focusing on. So I've created a new napkin, and I want to focus on a particular part of the page here. And the page I'm going to focus on is related to this step 3. So within this, you've got a great big chunk of text here, and part of it talks about case studies in here. So what I want to do is break this down in some way. So I'm just going to take that bit here. I'm going to go to Napkin. I'm going to just paste it in. It hasn't got a title at the moment, so I'm just going to put it in here. I'm going to call it just case studies example. I'm going to do that and see what it does initially with it by clicking on this button here for generate visuals. What it will do is it will go off and it will try to identify, it will analyze what's here, and it will create imagery based on that. And it gives you a range of choices that you can have a look at, different styles of how to present that particular content in there. And you can go down here and see lots of different variations on the same theme. Depending on what you want, you'll pick out a style. And once you've got a style, you can then look at it in even more depth, like changing colors, etc. So let's say, for example, I'm going to go for this one. Within that, I can choose different ways of presenting that same information, colors and fonts and stuff like that. And even once you've chosen one of those, you can go in even further. So let's say, for example, I'm going to take this one, and I now want to make changes here. So I might want to change just the words. Let's just change that word there to case studies. I can do that easy enough. Oops, can't type. Hang on. Let's go here. Let's do this. Let's just change it to studies. I might expand that box out a bit maybe, so I can do that just by clicking off and clicking in the area and move it. Oops, not that, sorry, move it out a little bit there. I can change things like the colors in here. If I don't want a particular color there, I can change to something else. I might want all the same color, or I might want to do individual ones. You can change the wording within here. You can change the fonts. You can change the color of the wording if you want to. You could do anything at all within the system. So you can customize quite a lot within here. And once you got to the point where you've amended things, because obviously when it's put here, it's taken it from here and it's sort of AI assessed how that should be. And sometimes it's not the way you want it, so you might want to adjust it in different ways. You change words, you change exactly what it says here. Once you get to the point where you actually do something with it, you can export it. You don't have to, I don't know why you want the napkin logo on, you've got it off. Different modes, background, you can choose whether to have a background on it or not, resolution, and then you just click on download. And what that does is just download it into your system. And then what you do is you take that graphic that you downloaded. Obviously, I'm talking about websites in this case, but there's different ways of downloading them. You take that graphic and then you add it in to your website, which I'm going to do now. Okay, so now you can see that's been done here. This particular part of the page, at this point, I inserted that graphic, which relates to the topic we're talking about here, case studies. And you still list the things here, so you could put it there instead of or in addition to the text that's there. You can do it any way you want to. Now, obviously, this is not in keeping with the style of the site in particular. This is not sort of hardcore design stuff. And, if you've got resources, then using a proper designer is always going to make sense. But for a quick way of doing things, this is very powerful. And going back to the Napkin system here and going in here, you can see I've done some earlier in my library. There's no limit to how many you can do. So just to give you some examples, I wanted to focus on this messaging of positive aspects of competitors' websites, and I created this image here from it, or it created this image, and I just did a few little tweaks to that. And you can still ongoing tweak things if you want to within here. You can just click on it, change colors, change fonts, do all sorts of things like that within there until you get to the thing you want to. I did one which was, this is about a roadmap, sort of going along a road. There's certain sort of things it will understand. It will create images related to that. It'll sort of call to action sort of thing down towards the end. Again, you're just taking the existing content from your website page or from somewhere else. You'll just ask it to create something for you. And I think there was that one that's going in there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put all these into the page so that you can see the difference between that page as it is now with all this stuff in here and what it'll end up with a few graphics in there as well. So back to the page, I've put various images in. These aren't perfect, they're more for just to show you how it works. There's a section here which has got an image in it, one there, and it breaks it all up. Now, before I did this, I used a little plugin, a little extension that shows you what your website looks like. It sort of takes a screen capture of the whole page. I'm going to show you that here. I'm going to drag it over if I can. Let me just get this. So this is that particular thing. And all it does is it takes a snapshot of the whole website page rather than you having to look at little bits of it. So this is sort of like what it was like before with all the text in it. It just splits up the pages here. And what we're going to now do is generate that again via this extension, which is useful to know. So this extension here is called Go Full Page. It's free. What it's doing is it's just taking screen grabs of the whole website page and it's going to put it into any format you want to. In this case, it's going to be PDF. So I'm going to say download it as a PDF. You don't have to download it, but you can see visually there just by scrolling through. In fact, it's not going to show me the whole page. I'm going to have to download it. Just download that PDF, open it up, and then drag it across. So what it's doing is it's giving you another, you could do this just by looking for your website page, but this is just sort of another way of doing it, just so you get a feel for how that page is broken up with a few images in it. I hope this is useful. So it's Napkin, which is the tool I used to create those images, and it's all completely free. And it's worth you having a look at your website pages and seeing if there are elements of them that you think could we create something within those, and then go off and start creating a new napkin, paste that text into that particular, into here from a blank napkin, just paste it in there, or you can just type stuff in here and it will create images related to that to go onto your website or anything else at all.